Hello, welcome to 2023 and my first video of the year. I'm Ghost Prime and I want to take a look at the soon to be revealed, presumably Walmart, reissue Hound in the cartoon colors. This thing actually came completely by surprise. I did not expect them to have a Hound mold still available, still viable, because they only said they're going to have used molds they could use, and they haven't reissued this guy in the US like ever. So just the fact that they have a reissue here out or almost out in the US is fantastic. But there's been a lot of things going on online. There has been a couple leaks. The first leak was just on, I think, on TFW, and then there was another video done without any sound. So I'm going to do a deep dive on this, get up close to it, and kind of look at the different paintwork and the plastics and how it's built and compare it to the original Hound. Just to try to, ease some of those questions that everyone have been having and these opinions that may change when you actually get that figure in hand. It did for me at least. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this video. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. Leave me a comment on what you think. Are you going to be picking up this guy when he's finally available? So without any further ado, let's get to the review. All right, I have him here in vehicle mode because that's how I got him in the package. He did have his weapons in this little baggie, which is very common. He does not have a box. He does come with his launcher. Of course, I've already pulled out a missile. One thing I really want to mention about all this green, so as you see, there's two different color greens here, right? It's not that way. In person, it's very slightly different, maybe. Like, you could tell it's different, but it's not like this. It's not like this at all. It's much closer to being exactly the same color green. This does not have, this is actually stuck on mine, and I can't get that out, and there's no spring inside at all. So this is not a non-firing missile. You do get his blaster here, his rifle, and it is cast in a gray plastic. Not silvery or anything, it's just gray. Just like the missiles, just like the emplaced weapon. He also comes with a spare tire, a gas tank, and here's the paintwork on him. So this whole piece is metal. Taillights are not painted, but the back bumper is painted. And this is all paint right here. This is all the big metal piece. As you can see inside the front seats, you see the legs there, the dashboard, the paint on the windshield, the translucent piece, and this is all plastic. Now, this plastic is a completely different color that I'm seeing it here. So the plastic actually does seem to really match this paint around here, at least to my eye, when I'm looking at it outside of the camera view. Inside the camera view, this is a much paler green. It's very weird. It's a completely different shade of green in the camera view than it is to my eye. So I really want to actually point that out because it looks terrible in this way, but actually in my eye, it looks all about the same color. It looks good. You have to actually kind of squint to speak. Okay, well, maybe there's a slight difference, but you can see the plastic is some shiny plastic. It would be nice if they would have painted this. I will give them that, or it would also be nice if these mirrors and all these white parts were actually painted. This is like this engine is painted that sort of minty color, which looks really good. You got the star there, an Autobot logo. Front bumper is not painted. I go around the other side so you kind of see it. Overall, finish-wise, I think it's done nice. It doesn't feel cheap or waxy. This might feel a little bit. It's really smooth, so it almost feels. I wouldn't want to say oily, but it's smooth, very very smooth. Like but the lack of chrome. There's lack of chrome at all. There's no chrome, none. Zero chrome in this thing. I don't think that detracts to it from it in person. It does give it a very cartoon look. So again, like I mentioned, it does come with 3 missiles in case you lose one, I guess. Put those to the side for now. I'll do a quick comparison with my original vintage. So I do have the weapons just put away, stored in the box. I store him in robot mode in my shelf. But so you just kind of get an idea of the two. Let me get in closer there. So you can see where the chrome actually really does show up on the original and looks nice. I think the chrome looks good, on the original. I've always liked the chrome on the original. I think it looks very decent. You don't get this detail around here. And actually, I was talking to my wife about this. She prefers this detail over this because this is that more dull cartoon look, and that's what it's going for. But I don't think it detracts overly from the figure. at all. I think it's kind of well done in my opinion. I do actually enjoy it. Kind of reminds me of this guy. It's a Detritus. Detritus? Maybe I'm saying it wrong. I don't know. I do have reviews on both of these if you want to check it out. I'll put the links down there in the comments. So there's the three together. So you can see this one kind of has sort of the same thing. It's got, they're painted sort of, they've got a wash on, but it's plastic. It does have chrome rims, but that's really all the chrome that's on it. So it's very similar to this one. And these are actually the same mold. They're both the reissue mold, which also was done for the Takara book style one. There are slight differences with it because like the original G1 could turn his head. These can't turn their heads. But other than that, they're relatively similar. So you get an idea of this. One thing also I want to point out about the vintage is it did have a bumper painted and it had the taillights painted. As I showed earlier, this one does not have the taillights painted, but this one has the bumper and taillights. I think the taillights would have been a nice touch, honestly, for this. I don't know why they left that out. But otherwise, no real complaints. And here he is in robot mode. So as you can see, he has some, this is all paint here. This is very nicely painted here. He has the thighs, which this is paint here. He has got a paint stripe around the his waist. He has, this piece is actually painted as well, just like the thighs are. His arms are painted green with a yellow stripe. They did a pretty decent job, I think, decoing him. He even has, if I get in close here with his eyes, focus, 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 focus. He has a nice bright blue eyes, that face, painted face. It looks just very good. I think they did a really decent job, and I think it really shows up in robot mode here, and he looks, you know, a lot like his cartoon counterpart. He looks just excellent. I don't mind the lack of chrome on him. It doesn't really bother me. They even went as far as to paint this, the back piece here and here. I mean, they went above and beyond, I think, with this. They could, maybe just as far as what they could with their budget, probably. Like I said, the taillights is my main complaint, but then they do show up on the feet. So maybe that was their thinking. I can't tell you. We'll have to wait and see what they say about it. But overall, I think it's really successful in what it's doing. And I just did not expect them to get a Hound reissue out in the US. The fact that they have now is really cool, but it is totally understandable because they haven't reissued it ever, why people want chrome. Although for me, I have the original, I have the Detritus. I love the Hound mold in general, and I really like what they did with this one. So just quick comparisons. There he is next to the original. And so they are, I mean, like I said, really, really close. Of course, they're the same mold. This one has 0 stickers, and I kind of would have liked to see stickers, but I guess that defeats the purpose of what they're going for. There they are together. You kind of see how they look from that side, from the back. The other side here. And the front. Now, again, this one shows up a little bit, looks almost like it does in person as on camera. The colors actually match, which is really weird. Again, it's just very strange, and it has to be something where this plastic here soaks up and reflects light, is the way eyes pick it up differently than cameras, which it's going to be hard to take pictures of, I can tell you that. But there we have the two together. Now, really, the only big difference is his head turns. And his does not. His is stationary. That's about it. And I'm sure Repo Labels has stickers for him. If you want to just sticker him up like this, you could probably do it just fine, and it would look fantastic. Here he is with Detritus. Now, my Detritus has a weird issue with his head, but so you really get the same type of plastic that this brown plastic is up here for this Hound. I do believe this is painted on Detritus here. You get the idea. I have his weapons stored away because I keep him in cheap mode on my Decepticon shelf. But can I get an idea of these and how they look? Also, the fact that I don't think no chrome detracts too much from the cartoon aesthetic. I think it looks like it should. So one last final shot here of all three. And there they are together. I think these guys are really cool. I love Hound, and I'm happy to actually have this. I'm glad they did it. And this really opens the door, I think, for just other figures, you know, other characters that maybe the molds aren't broken that they could reissue. Let's hope they do a purple Galvatron and an Astro Train and whatever else they have. I would love to see a lot of these in cartoon decos. I'd love to see the cars come back out like a Jazz and stuff like that. I think that'd be rad to do. Anyway, on to final thoughts. So all things considered, I absolutely love this release. I'm a huge fan of Hound, and honestly, I don't mind the lack of chrome. It's cartoon accurate. May have been nice if they were to put a little bit of white paint or something like that on it, because to bring out that cartoon sort of look. Maybe a little bit more paint on the actual, you know, front part of the vehicle would have been nice to have, but I would say those are nice to haves. The plastic quality does not feel cheap. It may look a little waxy, but it doesn't feel cheap. It's actually a really nice looking Hound figure. I absolutely enjoy it, and I will display it proudly on my shelves. And I am looking forward to a multitude of these. If they have a Hound still available, to me that leaves the door open for, like, maybe they'll do a purple Galvatron or a Cartoon Colors Astro Train. These are things that we could see. So if these sell well, maybe we could get those actually in our hand for a reasonable cost. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.